Alright guys, Mr. G here, and the Founders event is now live. We've waited for ages, and we finally have a new faction coming to Crossout. It's a construction-based faction. However, the release of this faction is going to be like none of the other ones we've had before. It's going to be a lot more similar to Night Riders, but with a Battle Pass twist thrown in. So it's going to function like an event. So all those new things we were talking about, you're going to be unlocking those in an event with levels that you can see down there at the bottom. So you can go ahead and skip a lot of those levels by buying the Battle Pass. There's 75 levels in total. So you're going to be able to unlock everything and blueprints for everything during the course of the event, and then the event will eventually end. However, later structural parts will be able to be unlocked through later methods that they have not yet introduced. So you can see which events unlock which decor items or which weapons and which blueprints. The Battle Pass is basically going to be a shortcut to get you past a lot of those things a little bit quicker. For example, you can get 15 levels automatically unlocked just by purchasing Battle Pass straight out the door, and then you can buy upgrades to your Battle Pass as well. Next up, we're going to be looking at new frames that they've added to the game. One weld point wide frames is a very lovely addition. I quickly went ahead and took a look at the new fusion procedures. You can see you're left with only 3 choices, and they're much better than like the 18 terrible choices we had before. But one of the biggest additions we're going to get to is the new special weapons. So this is the category above rare and below epic. And I went ahead and I tested all of these new weapons at a relatively low power score, because these are weapons that relatively new players are going to be picking up fairly quickly into their Crossout experience. So let's waste no more time and let's get started with my favorite one, the Summator, aka Nailgun. So like a lot of the new weapons that they added with Founders, this gun has 2 modes. We can do single shot nail mode, or we can hold left click and we can charge it, and it basically fires like a more long range junk bow, which in combat gives you quite a bit of tactical options. If you just need to get a few shots off or try and strip a weapon that's nearly done, you can just use single fire mode. But if you can't get a shot and you just want to charge, you can go ahead and charge and wait, and then unleash a pretty devastating blow for a weapon of this power score. We absolutely clean house with this thing. And if you guys know anything about the channel, if Mr. G can get kills in it, it's a fairly decent weapon. In fact, we're going to do more than just get kills with the Summator. We're essentially going to carry the team this match. Granted, we are playing at a low power score. Still, these are solid close range weapons. And they've got a little bit more range than your average shotgun. So these are a mid to close range weapon. I highly recommend get yourself 2 of these bad boys as soon as humanly possible. It's a really good new player weapon. Gives you a lot of flexibility in combat if you like speedy light builds and you like closing in quickly and or stripping weapons. And then when you're ready, charge it and release your killing blow with these things. I loved these when I tested them on test server. I still love them now. Next up, we have the upgrade to the sledgehammer, the Mace, which is essentially a little tiny shotgun. There's really not much to say about this thing. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's a slightly upgraded sledgehammer. A little bit better range, a little bit better damage, a little bit better accuracy. Now I drive it poorly, although we do still get yelled at in a foreign language, so I guess we're doing something right, because that's almost always a good sign. Why we drove up in front of this cannon build, I have no idea. We let him shoot us right in the face. Well, probably because G's tired and G needs coffee. But there's really nothing special to say about these, and that's like a lot of these weapons, is they're just a minor bump in the upgrade tree between rare and between epic. Okay, this thing we've got here is called the Hulk. It's essentially the upgrade to the little boy. So it's a turreted cannon which you can aim, and I have to say I felt like this was a pretty nice new player weapon. They're easy to use, their turn speed was pretty decent, the sound on them's cool. They're a little more accurate than the little boy at longer range, which is nice. I found them really fairly straightforward to use. Now yes, I know one of my guns is a weld point off. Don't judge me. I did my best just to get you guys these videos as soon as possible, so you guys know all the new content stuff comes out a little bit quick and dirty. You want the detailed stuff, make sure you guys go check out Coldfire Gaming. Now this cannon I like even more than the Hulk. This is the Prosecutor. It's obviously an upgrade from the Judge, right? You get Judge, Prosecutor, Executioner. This thing does really decent damage. It's really accurate, and you've got enough of an angle on it to be able to aim, although for new players, you may want to wait until you're a little bit better at driving before you go with these limited firing angle cannons. But that being said, their damage output and their accuracy is good, and the sound effect on them is absolutely on point, and they sound stupidly cool. And we were able to rack up a nice amount of kills with these things just out the door. Now this one is maybe the most poorly named weapon of the trio. It's in the rapid fire machine gun category. It's the Sinus. I'm going to tell you right now, I just don't love these weapons, because like all machine guns, they suffer from not doing enough damage, and their hitbox is big, and they don't have the durability to stand up in combat. And what you're going to notice here is I'm going to get a kill assist or two, and then we're pretty much going to lose all of our weapons immediately, which to me feels like a problem with machine guns, not necessarily this gun. Now we're taking a look at the AC-50. It's the special version of the Rapier. It's an autocannon. I'm biased against autocannons, I'll tell you that right now. I just don't love them. The damage output just does not feel that good. However, these do what they say they do. They're an autocannon. You know, they're accurate. You can shoot at range. Nothing too fancy. And we tested all of these weapons without cooling or engine upgrades or any modules of any kind. We just ran these things in vanilla mode. Now this one, we're breaking into the new category, is the blockchain. So it's like that plasma cutter thing. It does extra damage to heated parts. So we attempted running it with an Aurora. And what I found even running this thing in a couple battles was that it just doesn't have the hit points or the durability to stand up. It's got a gigantic hitbox, which makes it ridiculously hard to armor and easy to hit. So in a course of 2 matches, I didn't spend ages on playing this. The DPS just didn't feel as amazing as I hoped it would. It's already a pain running an Aurora to heat stuff up. Yes, I should have used the Photon. I just didn't love it. I much preferred the trigger. It's extremely accurate, and it has a nice extra bonus damage pulse that comes at the end. Now, I did these builds in a rush. These are not meta. These are not ridiculously good. What I did learn is you don't actually have to hold the trigger down. You just tap it once, and it goes through the cycle. There's no you controlling when the ending pulse comes. It's just all on the timer. But this is a really good weapon for stripping weapons off your enemy because it's extremely accurate at mid-range. The sound effect is cool. You just got to make sure you stay on target so that you get the damage pulse on the enemy at the end. Now, the assembler, aka lightning gun, it's very accurate at long range. You just have to get a feel for the timing, and the projectile goes a lot faster than the pulsar or the quasar, which is a nice upgrade from those. But overall, the damage did not feel ridiculously good. It felt okay. It did not feel particularly amazing, though, in any way. For the category and power score of what it was, it did feel to me slightly underpowered in the time that I have spent with it. Still, is what it is. It is ridiculously accurate, and the projectiles do go fast, so it does what it says it's going to do. Now, you'll notice you also get a charge there at the end if you wait till full power, which does bonus and damage. However, if you wait too long to use it, it will overheat and you'll have to reset the power cycle again. So like all of the weapons in the new patch that are brand new to the founders, they all have a charge mechanic or some sort of alternate feature mechanic. Now after this, we're going to take a look at the Annihilator, which is the legendary drone, which uses Spark. And it's probably the most controversial one. I know I did a silly video on it earlier, but we're going to look at it more seriously right now. So the Annihilator is a drone. We're going to put it on a drone or on a hover build here using the call cabin, so we get the speed bonus. It's got a new UI interface here, but you have to basically target it like you would the Caucasus. And you can target 2 separate enemies at one time. I guess technically if you wanted you could do 4, although that would be really tricky. One other thing I noticed now is that if you move out of range of your enemy, you will lose your target lock, and you will have to come back in range and lock again. So this is a pretty significant nerf to the way that it functions in general, so that you're not going to feel too overpowered with this thing. Now, I have not tested this in anything using like a harvester or melee because it will add the bonus to the harvester, etc. But as far as just running these by themselves, it didn't feel particularly overpowered. Guys, I know that was quick and dirty, a lot more founder stuff to come, but this was just a review of all the new weapons, whether it's special or whether it's new and specific to the founders. Like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Crossout. I'm going to catch you guys later. Mr. G out.